Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk with Tonsoni. I'm your host, Brian Tonsoni. Welcome to the Delphi Bracketology edition, where
Okay,
we will be
I'm going to
talking
stop that real
news
quick.
and information about
I got the
NCAA basketball.
wrong
Hope you
intro
enjoy the
music.
show.
I'm going to go back and start that over and then stop it at about 15 minutes. So we have one viewer. I think that's one of my students, Michael Benner. But I'll start that over again because I don't want that last part in there. Here we go. Hold on. Take 3.
Oh, my bad.
Come on, man. We're live, dude. That was hilarious, though. I might keep that in it. All right, for all you live viewers out there, I'm interviewing a couple of my high school kids. We're going to start over here on take 3. 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Talk with Tonsoni. I am your host, Brian Tonsoni, and tonight we're going to interview a couple special athletes from Western High School that I had the good fortune of coaching in basketball this season. So let me introduce to you, first of all, Cooper O'Neill, who was a senior guard for us on the basketball program, and he's played some other sports. Cooper, hello, and welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you.
And our other guest, let me introduce to you, probably one of the most unselfish teammates I've ever coached, and a significant eater, as was heard earlier. Matt Morgan, how you doing, bud?
What's going on? Doing all right.
Okay. I'm going to ask these guys 6 questions on the podcast about their high school times, and for 2 reasons. One, they're two solid young men, and they're 2 excellent people to coach. And then selfishly, I just want to have a last conversation with them, and I'd like to have it on record and keep it. And so we're going to start off with Cooper O'Neill. What are your plans post high school?
I am attending Ohio Northern University to study pharmacy and possibly minor in business. And I plan to be a pediatric pharmacist when I get out of school. So,
what about pharmacy is interesting to you, Cooper? Why that path?
Well, I love math and science. It's always been my strong subjects, and I took a college chemistry course last year as a junior. I did fairly well in it, and I was interested in the concepts and wanted to learn more about it.
And Cooper, there's no doubt that when you put your mind to it, you'll do well out there. Matt, your plans post high school?
I'll be going to UIndy to study physical therapy to get my doctorate in that. So I'll be working in that field.
And again, a couple of guys with no doubt are going to be able to do their study and do it well and come out ready to face the world. So let's talk a little bit about your playing days, and we'll start with you, Matt, with this question. What did you like most about playing sports in high school?
I guess I would say it was like just getting together with all your friends that you played with since you were little, and especially like this new year with the new coaching staff, it was just all of us learning together. And really, it's like the whole team coming together. And so, like, that's probably my favorite part about sports is just being together with all your buds, just coming together.
And you played a significant role for our club this year as a senior coming in with the new coaching staff, getting to meet the head coach, myself, on a first-time basis. But you accepted your role, and that's sometimes difficult to do. Why was it important for you for Western basketball to win, regardless of your personal position?
I mean, I like winning a lot, even if, it's just me sitting on the bench. But, I mean, I still like to be productive. I just don't want to be that kid who, I'm not going to play, so I'm just going to sit and pout on the bench. I mean, I try to get the calls for you when you're watching the game. I know I helped with the scouting and stuff like that. And it was just like that made me feel good because that was my benefit to help the team win. So it was really just that more than the playing.
Yeah, and I tell you, Matt, you did some things on the court when you were there, and we put you in positions. But when you were not playing, you were helping just as much. And I can't thank you enough from getting the calls from the other coaches and then helping me make decisions for adjustments at halftime. And at the end of the year, you were making some really solid suggestions. And that's why I consider you to be one of the best teammates and coachable I've been around, and forever will be thankful and hold you in high esteem. Cooper, what have you enjoyed most about your sports in high school?
I'm definitely going to have to agree with Matt about the whole team aspect, being around people who bring out the good in you, make you smile and just laugh and have a good time. And also it's something that gets you away from school and, kind of gets your stress off of that. And you get to focus on a sport that you love and are passionate about.
Cooper, what were the sports? I know you played baseball and basketball. Were there other sports that you played?
I have played soccer. I played soccer in middle school. I ran cross country through middle school in my freshman year, and then I stopped doing that, which I regret not running my other 3 years because just like I said, I miss that team aspect of that sport. And those are the only sports that I played.
You guys have brought up an interesting thing. It's good for us coaches to remember, too, that, being part of a team is special as well as what is done in practice and on game nights as well. And I think that's a point that needs to be remembered. Cooper, back to you on this question. Who were your sports role models and maybe even a non-sports role model as you have grown up?
I would say definitely a couple of my sports role models would be my siblings. I have two twin sisters who played collegiate basketball. One of them just graduated, and one is going back for her fourth collegiate year of basketball because she tore ACL in the first game of her senior season. So, and also my brother, who was a collegiate baseball player but could have played college sports for basketball or baseball. And one non-sibling for me would be probably Des Ballantyne. He was a senior when I was a freshman, and I got to guard him in practice because I dressed a little bit of varsity my freshman year, and I was on JV. So JV was always, practicing against the varsity, and so he was like that competition for me, someone I looked up to, just because I loved his work ethic, and just everything about him. So yeah.
What's the best lesson you learned from your twin sisters?
Oh, I really don't know.
Trying to put you on the spot there.
Just probably balancing school and sports. They're top students, straight A students for sure, and I really admire that. So,
very good, very good, Matt. Your sports role models and maybe even a non-sports role model.
Sports models. I mean, I'm not like a huge personal person, but I mean, I'm not trying to bandwagon, but I mean, Kevin Durant's my favorite player for reasons other than basketball. I mean, you could put him and any other professional NBA players or sports players, like they're the living aspect of how you can literally come from nothing. And if you just work hard enough look how much money they're making now. So I really admire Kevin Durant. I've watched documentaries on him about how like you can come from not the best home life, but you don't need all the money if you just have the hard work in you to do that. And I guess that goes along with the non-sport role model, I guess, Coach Lewis. I mean, I look up to him a lot because at first, he came in the new coach, maybe he's a little of an a-hole. But then once I really got to know him a little more, we became pretty close. And I look up to him a lot, especially like if you follow his Twitter, that just shows you a lot of how strong mentally of a man he is, and I really look up to him in aspects like that. And he's probably one of the better role models you could have, especially for high schoolers when they're growing up. You got to put them on the right track, and I really look up to him for doing that.
That's interesting that you said that, because he's the reason I got back into coaching, for a lot of the reasons, Matt, that you said. And I think that when you cut through all of the stuff, there is a person there that is just he really cares about getting people to be their best and to do their best. And so thank you for that. Matt, we'll come back to you. Your favorite sports memory, personal sports memory for you.
Man, there's a lot, especially throughout high school, especially this season. Just joking around. I think a good memory would be probably like a lookout on the season, how like I didn't get to play a whole lot, but when I was in, I always made the best of it. And like senior night, I went in, I made the first bucket of the game, or there were other games that I would just go in and score. And like, that was just something big for me, because I didn't get the wholeness of the playing time I wanted. But like sports moments was just, I say, the whole flashback of this past season, because it was just a blast with you and Coach Lewis, and all the stories we talk in the team room, or summer workouts when we were doing the drill, and Rassel smacked the ball for me. He goes, "How much do you weigh, Morgan?" I was like, "Oh, about 215. He's like, "Geez, you're about to get on the Tonsoni level with that weight." It was probably like the highlight of Coach Lewis for sure. But I guess as a whole general season, it was just one of my favorite moments that I've had.
That's good. Cooper, we're going to send it to you. What your favorite sports memory from high school?
I have two specific ones. So the first one happened my sophomore year. And during my baseball season, I got the opportunity to start in the state championship 3A game in left field. And it was just awesome to play on Victory Field to compete for a state championship. And the second one would probably have to be this year in the basketball season against, I think it was Twin Lakes, when I hit that buzzer beater to tie the game to make it go into overtime in the corner.
What were you thinking when that ball went through?
Just the atmosphere was crazy. Like Purdue's band was like pep band was there. Like I was so hype, and everybody like jumped out of their seats and like started running towards me and like screaming, and it was awesome.
That was absolutely excellent. There was 1 second left on the clock. We were down 3, I believe, and ran a play and got you the ball in the corner, and you rose up and nailed it. So that's an excellent. And playing for a championship is always something that athletes will remember too. And so let's go, Cooper. What lessons do you take away from your overall sports high school experience?
Definitely the work ethic part of it. You get to have these good coaches for multiple sports. I'm just gonna make you guys as an example. I learned so much from you guys on and off the court, how to be a man, and all those aspects of it. So
very good. Matt, lessons you take away from your high school experience?
I agree with Cooper. The work ethic, really, like if you want something, you're just going to have to go work hard for it. Like you can wish it all you want and hope for it to happen, but you really have to go out and work hard and take it. And like another thing with me is the weight room. Like I used to not believe in the weight room, but I started hitting it before the season, and now like even after sports, it's just a healthy lifestyle to live. And I know Coach Lewis emphasized that, but working hard and really hitting the weight room is a big thing.
Very good. And we're going to wrap up the podcast here with give to younger athletes that are middle school, maybe entering high school for the first time. What advice, Matt, would you give to those athletes?
I tell them just to work hard. Like, don't be the little freshman that comes in intimidating. Be that freshman that stands out and really makes all the older guys look bad because he's outworking you. Really hit the weight room pretty hard. I'd say that, and just go to class. It's really not that hard. Just show up to class, do your homework, work hard. You'll get through high school just fine.
Cooper, what advice would you have for the athletes that are going to be following you?
I agree with Matt about all he said. With number one, working hard, trying to put yourself above others any way you can, like learning in any sport, whatever sport you're in, learn more about it, make yourself better, put extra time in. Like you said, it's not that hard to make the grades to play. But I would encourage the future players or students to get as good as grades as they can, because it's not going to hurt them. It would just benefit them even more for college. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Well, I tell you guys, it was an honor in my first year to have been over there at Western High School as an assistant, and to have you guys as seniors. I think I can speak for Coach Lewis. If not, I know I am speaking for him when we would like to have had years and not just 1 year. But I think both of you guys made the year enjoyable as great teammates, as great people to coach, as great young men, great student athletes. And you will be brought up as long as I'm involved in coaching. You will be brought up as two great examples. So I wish you well in your finals this week. And graduation on June 1st at Western, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And enjoy your last week, and then be ready to enjoy a summer before you head out and take on the world. But again, that is Cooper O'Neill and Matt Morgan, soon to be graduates of Western High School. Just fantastic guys. So this will do it for this episode of Sports Talk with Tonsoni. Please find us on any of your favorite podcast sources, also on anchor.fm, and follow this podcast on Twitter. The handle is @SportsTons. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back soon.